The movie Into the Woods and the ABC hit show Once Upon a Time has spawned a renewed interest in fairy tales, and because Pantochino Productions is on the pulse of funny, they've come up with their own mashup of some of the Brothers Grimm's beloved stories. Joining me now are Bert Bernardi, Jimmy Johansmeyer, and Justin Rugg. Welcome, guys.
How do you do?
So tell us a little bit about the show. Obviously, there's been a little more popularity with fairy tales. So how did you get into this?
Well, you start with fairy tales. Everyone loves a good fairy tale, and no one tells them like the Brothers Grimm themselves, and that's where the story begins. We come out to the Center for the Arts in Milford next weekend, and we tell our fairy tales in our own very special way.
It's going to be a great show. I've heard some great reviews about it, but you're actually taking 3 separate stories and integrating them into one.
Are we?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
We might be doing that, something like that. Yeah.
Can you give us a little preview, something to expect?
Well, you might see Cinderella, or you might see Little Red Riding Hood, or you might see Rapunzel, or you might see them all at the same time.
Okay, and it has an interesting name, of course, the Brothers Grimm, and then, but there's a showgirl involved, but I don't see a showgirl here.
There's a showgirl?
I don't know.
I don't know.
How come you guys know nothing about the show?
There's a
It's your
showgirl?
show. Wait, there's a showgirl. Come on over here, showgirl.
There's a showgirl.
Here she comes. She's
There she
dancing.
is.
She's moving. So showgirl, how much involvement do you have in the show? Are you in between acts, or are you?
Oh, no, I'm very involved in the show, for sure.
Oh, so you're working it. I like all the winks. Can you guys wink too, or just her?
No, definitely for sure.
All right, I just want to make sure.
Brothers Grimm, no winks.
Oh, okay. She's the only winker in the show, I guess. So of course you guys are integrating all different stories. What makes the show so unique here to Connecticut? So different.
Well, it's homegrown. We all wrote this play and rehearsed it here in Connecticut. We have our own very special style of humor that you won't find anywhere else. And it's something that kids of all ages, parents, adults, will enjoy. Bring the kids, don't bring the kids.
All right. Well, we're going to get a little preview of the show, but first we have a little bit of information for you guys that we're going to put up here on the screen for you. Of course, we have the upcoming show, and you guys can buy tickets. And when is the show one more time?
27th, 28th, and 29th.
All right. Wow. So a lot of dates available. So and we can check that out at Pantochino.com. All right. Very good. Very good. You guys can take it away with the performance.
Wait a minute. Where is das book?
Georg was holding it.
I know he was holding it. Where is it now?
What Das Book do you mean? I think there's music about it.
Yes.
I don't know when it comes on.
Das Book, das big book, the one with all the stories that we tell. We need each and every page to make a show upon this stage. Now find it, or I won't be feeling well.
Das Book, das big book. I think I know the one you speak about. It's the one with all the writing, which I know you'll find exciting, but it's not here, so we must do without.
What do you mean we must do without? We cannot do without Das Book.
I mean, after all, I wrote all the stories.
I wrote all the stories.
That's cute. I wrote the stories you watched.
You may have written them down, but they were my stories to begin with.
I wrote the stories.
I wrote the stories.
I wrote the stories.
You? I wrote the stories of people and places and things. I'm the one that wrote about damsels' distresses, girls in white dresses, wolves and witches, golden stitches, orphans, breadcrumbs, queens and kings.
Did you ever hear the one about the mouse, the bird, and the sausage? Oh, sorry.
Das Book, das big book. Without it here, we cannot do the show. So let's go out and catch a train, and so do you, a Wiedersehen. I'm sorry, but we simply have to go.
And so sadly, audience, we must now leave you.
Yes, in the middle of the opening song.
In the middle of this is not the opening song, that's the end of the song. Thanks to Georg not bringing Das Book.
Well, you have to ask me, we really don't need Das Book.
Wait, stop the music. What do you mean we don't need Das Book?
Well, we can make it up as we go along.
Dare we?
Dare we?
We dare. We will now do Das Show without Das Book. Music, please, on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. Das Book, who really needs Das Book? We'll tell you all the stories anyway. We'll play out all the parts from the bottom of our hearts. It's the show we'll do today.
With me!
And me.
With me and him.
We'll tell you all the stories of the Brothers Grimm.